Nightingale is releasing another brand new update, and this one is quite a big one. It is an Unreal Engine update, so this will improve things like graphics, performance. They've also got loads of crafting, building, and bug fixes in this one as well. This is a nice update. It's not one of the biggest that they've done, but ever since the Realms Rebuilt update, they've really been smashing stuff out the park. The recent updates have been brilliant, adding new stuff. The seasonal event was loads and loads of fun, adding loads of seasonal rewards and seasonal building pieces, and overall the game has just got better since that Realms Rebuilt relaunch. I'd say it was an update, but it was more of a sort of relaunch of the game in itself. And since then, the player numbers have been doing really well. Now, the reviews have gone up to mixed and recently, which, I mean, you know, it's not terrible. 67% of the 13,000 are positive, and then over the last 30 days, 68% of the 147 are positive. Now, why that is, not 100% sure. Maybe the way that the game is and the storage, it's a very grindy game. If you're going into this for a survival experience and you just want to do some building, have a little bit of fun with that aspect whilst looting the areas around you, it's not really the game for that. There's a good storyline to it, and it is very repetitive in some parts. It's not something that you'll be able to sit and explore for hours and hours finding new things like some survival games that you can come across. But overall, it is a great game. And like I say, since that Realms Rebuilt update, it's been doing much better than what it was beforehand. Now, the Unreal 5.4 update is basically addressing loads of bugs, quality of life issues, tons and tons of stuff in there. There's a lot of highlights to this and tons of bug fixes, as you can see here. That is a lot. Loads to gameplay mechanics, loads to UI and menus, and loads to the NPCs. And we'll go over those in just a second. But for the main parts, obviously the engine upgrade is the biggest one. The engine upgrade will enable the team to make the game look better, run smoother, and just overall be a little bit easier to play and work with. So the character customization has also changed a little bit, so you may need to reapply certain aspects to your character if you've not, if you've gone sort of really detailed into that customization aspect of the game, which there's a lot of stuff in there which you can do. So if you are really into that, once this update drops, you may need to go back and reconfigure and just tweak a few of those little things to make it look how it was beforehand. Then when it comes to mechanics, they've reduced stealth attributes on gear for better balance with others, removed structural support requirements, allowing objects to float when building, and campfires and other fuel structures will now turn off automatically when crafting is completed, so that's going to save you a lot in resources rather than having them just sat there burning away when you're not actually crafting or building anything at all. Now, when it comes to gamepad, they've improved gamepad for the map, guidebook, estate card, and automation screens. And for visuals, they've updated models for some mushrooms and creatures. Appearances now match clothing customization. But when it comes to building and crafting, copy, move, and remove functionalities have been added to the advanced build mode and reduced the time and effort required to craft tier 2 and tier 3 benches. So if you are going through that later game stages, it is going to make things a little bit smoother for you. You'll be able to get into some of the higher quality stuff a lot quicker and a lot easier, which is great news for those that are coming in at this point in the game and they're going through and building up their arsenal and trying to build some better bases, better gear, and better weapons. Now, when it comes to the bug fixes, there's been tons of stuff to UI and menus, gameplay mechanics, and NPC behaviors. So if you do want to read the full list, I will put it in the description down below, but we'll just have a quick look at what the main things are here for gameplay mechanics, where players are not getting stuck during boss rushes. They're not getting fuels where crafting times are going all over the place when it comes to building and crafting certain items on campfires. The time is now better and more reliable, so you can rely on what you're doing. But with that building mode and the actual fires running out when you finish the crafting anyway, that's not really going to make too much difference. There's no longer sliding on ground when you're in deep water, so you don't slide to the bottom and drown, which I've had before. It's a bit of a pain in the arse. And NPCs are no longer getting stuck and logging out when you're in the middle of a quest, which was a bit of a pain doing some of those side quests going around. NPCs recruited in one player's realm by another player are not visible until the recruiting player logs back in. So you've not got random NPCs just floating around your base if you are playing with friends and they're not on. NPCs will no longer walk away during dialogue. NPCs don't always work with their assigned stations, and wood used as fuel will not alter its tier or type if placed there by an NPC. So a big chunk of fixes there, which really quite good. I like that they're still working, still fixing the game, and making it as good as it possibly can be. Now, when it comes to the overall players, now, as you can see, back in September was when the Realms Rebuilt update came out, but numbers before that were looking really low. Now, they're not the highest, but they are sticking around that 500 mark, which is good. Hopefully, we don't see another drop. Maybe they'll just need to put out another big update to keep players focused and coming back for more. Overall, I think Nightingale is a really good game. I did play a hell of a lot of it back during the launch phases, and as I've mentioned in previous videos, going through that sort of test phase with the team and development for about a year before it actually released to the public, I think hampered my experience a little bit. Because by the time the game launched, I didn't have that excitement because I'd already done everything beforehand. So I don't think it's something I'm going to do in the future. But overall, I'm grateful to Inflection and the team for giving me that opportunity to try it before and get stuck in and be part of the development process. And it was really enjoyable doing that. So I'm glad I got to do it, but it's not something I'd do again for a game because it sort of ruins that excitement and hype of the game releasing. But hopefully in 2025 they do pull some really big updates out of the bag. The game is a great game, and with the recent updates like the survival boss rush modes, which are really quite fun, and they just give you something extra to sort of play around with. You know, they're not massive, it's not a game-changing feature, but it is enjoyable, and it's something for those that have already played the game and got through a lot of the storyline. So hopefully they do add more things to that. So the boss rush was basically sort of a challenge mode where you fight an endless series of bosses which have a random minor realm card applied. Each boss that you defeat increases the difficulty of the next, and your reward for facing this is higher infusions and higher tier gear, such as fabled resources and tier 5 and 6 infusions. So if people want to see some more of that, let me know in the comments, and we'll do some videos of that. I've not done any videos of it. I have played it. I enjoyed it. It's loads of fun. I do play the game more than I do content on it because there's a lot of really detailed and good guides out there, and it rather than some survival games where you can do a guide of, you know, go here, find this, go here, do this, place these things in this, and you would be better off. Nightingale is much more long-winded and complex than that in certain aspects. You need to have different tiers of items to unlock different tiers of items. So I think maybe a sort of dumbing down of the crafting overall. It has been done. It was a hell of a lot more complex back in the original days when it first launched and when they were doing the testing. But they've dumbed it down quite a bit. And I know a lot of people enjoy that really complex aspect of the crafting. For me, though, it just wasn't something I was a fan of. So I think that's one of the things that really pulls me away from Nightingale is how much of the crafting you have to do. There's a lot that goes into it. It's very detailed. But, I mean, for the first bit, it is overall fun. But when you start get to those later gear segments, it can be quite tough. Now, a lot of people, as I've already said, enjoy that sort of complexity around the crafting. For me, I prefer, here's your wood, here's your meat, here's your this, here's your that, whack it together, you've got this. Not you need a different type of wood or a different tier of this to do something. That didn't really draw me in. It just made things more difficult and didn't help or streamline the creation process of going through the realms and upgrading your gear. But I think it might be something I maybe restart the game on and try again. So let me know what you guys think. Do you like Nightingale's latest update? Is it a good one? Are you enjoying the game? I am enjoying it, other than sort of the crafting aspect of it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. For now, though, this is just a short one. We are going to wrap that one up there. We've got tons and tons of survival content coming out on this channel over the next few days. And if you haven't already noticed, we've completely changed our schedule. We now only upload Sunday through to Thursday. So that's 5 videos a week. And then on our Space Cowboy, which is our RPG-based channel, we upload several videos on there a week, normally on a Monday and a Friday. Currently a bit of a lag on that one because there's not too much out in terms of RPGs. I'm debating Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. We've got Atomfall coming. Avowed looks quite good. I'm debating checking that out as well. But if there's anything specific you want to see, survival on this channel or RPG on the second channel, let me know in the comments down below. For now, though, hopefully you've all enjoyed today's video. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you very soon with some more Nightingale.